to Achaia, it's the northwest corner of Peloponnese, and it has 4 PDOs. The first one is called Patra, which is the main city of the area. PDO Patra is producing white dry wines from the pink-skinned grape variety called Rhoditis. But someone would say, hey, you said you're going to present the PDOs according to the order of appearance in a meal at your place. Yes, but after the meats, the main courses that have been matching perfectly with Nemea, I'll get some Greek cheeses. So Rhoditis dry white is the choice. The grape variety behind PDO Patra is Rhoditis. Actually, it's not a grape variety, it's grape varieties, an umbrella name for many clones or many grapes that have one thing in common, being pink-skinned in color. There are some members that are great for producing a lot of wine, like Donkey Rhoditis. Others are great for producing lower yields but higher quality, like Fox Rhoditis or Cinnamon Rhoditis. PDO Patra encompasses a huge plot of land, and as you understand, some of these parts, the fertile ones, are good for producing higher quantities of wine, but we have other less fertile, usually high altitude areas that can give intriguing wines. For example, slopes of Aelia, the balconies overlooking the Corinthian Gulf. Some amazing old vine Rhoditis exists here and is usually turned into sublime wines. And after finishing the cheese course, or keeping the strongest cheese for the rest, we are going to the 3 remaining PDOs of Achaia, all of which are completely dedicated to dessert wines. Mavrodaphne of Patra, Muscat of Patra, and Muscat of Rio of Patra. Mavrodaphne is the name of a grape variety, but Mavrodaphnis of Patras is possibly the creation of a single person called Gustav Claus, a German that came to Achaia at the end of the 19th century. He created a wine that is sweet and fortified and released in the market usually after many years in oak. I've met a number of people that think Mavrodaphne of Patras as always a cheap wine that is barely drinkable. I beg to differ. There are a lot of great Mavrodaphnes there, some of which have been aged in oak, large oak old barrels for several decades. There are wines that deserve your best chocolate next to them. The main thing that you can have common between the Mavrodaphne and the Muscat wines in Patras is essentially sweetness. All of these wines have to be sweet. Beyond that, the Muscat wines can be a bit more complicated. You have Muscat of Patras, you can have Muscat of Rion of Patras, a town just 20 minutes away from Patras. You can have wines that are fortified, others that are coming from sun-dried grapes. You can have Muscats aged in oak, others that have been kept only in stainless steel, all of them being copybook Muscats. Moving on to the other side of Peloponnese, piercing through the heart of Peloponnese like an arrow or like a souvlaki skewer, you come across Laconia with a PDO of Monemvasia Malvasia. Actually, my family stems from Laconia, but as you might have understood so far, being laconic is not one of my strong points. PDO Monemvasia Malvasia is one of the most recent PDOs created by the Greek wine legislation, together with a few more PDOs in Crete and the Aegean Sea Islands. These PDOs are an attempt to recreate the famous Malvasia wine, one of the most famous wines produced in the course of the whole humanity, the most famous wines of the Middle Ages. A PDO Monemvasia Malvasia wine is a sweet white wine that has to be aged in oak for at least 2 years. Usually people age it for far longer. It comes from sun-dried grapes and a mix of different grape varieties. The most important, at least 51%, has to be Monemvasia, It's a grape variety named after the local medieval town that is absolutely must-see, and I'm not biased. The rest is Assyrtiko together with Asprudes or Kidonitsa. As the name suggests of the latter grape, smells like quince. And since I referred to Kidonitsa, Kidonitsa was a minor blending partner of the PDO Monemvasia Malvasia wines, but now we have some excellent varietals, dry white wines from this grape. It might be the next Malagousia, so it's just one of the Peloponnesian grape varieties that are, as we speak, lesser known, but tomorrow, who can tell? Moving on clockwise, we go to Messenia. In Messenia, we have Fileri, a pink-skin grape variety that is related to Moscofilero, but for a reason that few people understand, we had Cabernet and Chardonnay finding a lovely place to lay some really deep roots in here. These wines can be embarrassingly French for the French. Going further up, we go to Ilia. There are parts of Ilia that can give Roditis wines that can compete with the best from Ilia. Further up, going back to Achaia, Lagorthi, a white grape that can give full textured wines at 11% alcohol or even lower. Corinth and Arbolida, Mavrostifo. This is very early days for Mavrostifo, but initial examples make everyone think, why it took you so long? I can go on and on and on about discussing up-and-coming local grape varieties of Peloponnese, but I think it is essential to do a bit more discussion on the international ones, or even Italians. In Ilia, we have Refosco being planted there for more than a century, so technically it's been considered a native grape nowadays. Other producers in all parts of Peloponnese craft some excellent Cabernets, Merlots and Chardonnays, sometimes varietally, sometimes blended with Greek grapes. One of the most famous examples is the Agiourgitiko Cabernet Sauvignon blends that are not allowed to be called PDO wines, but who cares? This was the end of the 6th episode of the eGREEKwine video series. You can get the rest of the videos on the Greek Wine Federation's YouTube channel. Next, the sun is coming in, so wear your swimming suits while staying safe and staying home, because in a few days we're having Crete coming up. Thanks for watching.